Hi everyone, welcome to MathSux. This video is going to help you pass geometry. Today we're going to be looking at creating perpendicular and parallel lines through a given point. This is a popular question that's on a lot of different regions tests, and it's really good to know. So before we look at our questions though, let's first look at the difference between perpendicular and parallel lines. So perpendicular lines, you'll notice, has a little symbol next to it. That's just another way to write perpendicular in math notation. And you'll notice when you look at the lines, they intersect each other and they form a 90-degree angle. So if you notice, we have y equals x and y equals negative x, and you'll notice that the slopes are kind of they're kind of opposites of each other. The slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. So let's write that down. Negative reciprocals. I'm not really sure what that means yet, right? So what negative reciprocals mean is actually you're going to be flipping and negating something. So flip and negate. So what that means is here we have the slope is equal to 1, right? It's invisible 1 right next to x if you don't see a coefficient there. So we have m equals 1, but then here it becomes negative x, or negative 1. But really, what this is doing is going negative 1 over 1. And that's perpendicular lines. On the other hand, parallel lines, you can use this notation, these two straight lines going down, to represent parallel lines. And if you look at our example of parallel lines, they never intersect with each other, and they're going the same direction because they have the same slope. So in this example, we have y equals x minus 1, and then y equals x plus 1. So each have the same slope going up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, but they start at different places with different y-intercepts. So this is same slope. So now that we've gone over the difference between the two, let's start our first question. Find an equation of a line that passes through point 1, 3 and is perpendicular to line y equals 2x plus 1. So right away we see equation of a line. So when you see equation of a line, you know you're going to be filling in a formula and finding y equals mx plus b. So another part of this question we want to pay attention to is that it's perpendicular to line y equals 2x plus 1. So if it's perpendicular, we know that it's going to have a slope that is the negative reciprocal of 2. So, because that's the slope of this line. So if we have m equals 2 and we want the negative reciprocal of it, it's going to become negative, and then we're going to put a 1 on top. So it becomes negative 1 over 2. So we have the slope. That's good. So let's plug that into our formula. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. So the next part of our question is we're going to have to finding the b, the y-intercept. So to do that, they give us a point. So they don't just leave us hanging dry. They give us a point. We have 1, 3. And then we could just take these values for x and y and plug it into our equation and solve for b. So for y, we're just going to put 3. And then for x, we're just going to put 1. And then now we're just going to solve as normal algebraically for b. So we have negative 1/2 plus b equals 3. And then now we're just going to add 1/2 on both sides. And we get 3.5 is equal to b. So we have our information. We have the slope is negative 1/2 and the y-intercept is 3.5. So if we put this all together into our y equals mx plus b equation, we have y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3.5. And this line is going to be perpendicular to the one they gave us, y equals 2x plus 1. And that's our answer. So let's try another question. Let's look at a parallel question. So very similar. We're still finding an equation of a line that goes through point negative 5, 1, so a different point, but this time it's going to be parallel to line y equals 4x minus 2. So if you remember back in the beginning of this video, we said parallel lines are going to have the same slope. So if we want a line that is parallel to 4x minus 2, what is the slope here? What would give us the same slope? It's 4. So we know we're going to be using m equals 4, so we could just fill that in. We're going to be using an equation of a line again, so we have y equals mx plus b, and then we could fill in our slope, which we know is going to be 4. Y equals 4x plus b. And then to find b, we're just going to do the same thing we did earlier, use the given point, and plug it into the equation. So for x we have -5, for y we have 1, so 1 equals 4 times -5 plus b. Multiply these two guys, you get -20 plus b. And to get b alone, we're just going to add 21 to both sides. Oh, I have 20, sorry. Got ahead of myself there. So now we have 21 equals b, and we have everything we need, right? We know that the slope is 4, and we know that b is 21, so we can put this all together, and we have y equals 4x plus 21. And that's our answer. If you have any questions about anything we went over here, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. Thanks. See you next time. Need more practice? Check out MathSux.org for more questions. Link below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Happy calculating!